a virus that turns humans into monsters in just 12 seconds and spread so fast that within days, it brought the entire world to its knees. Now, the number of these zombies has grown so massive that fighting them is no longer possible. When armies fell and weapons ran out, a wall was built, humanity's last hope. But when even that wall couldn't hold back this ocean of zombies, all hope rested on former UN investigator Jerry Lane, who discovered a unique way to fight this death. And now, the entire world is putting its strength behind him to help him reach his goal. This is the story of World War Z. This nightmare began on the day Jerry was driving toward the city with his wife Karen and their 2 daughters. Today, the roads are unusually packed, completely jammed with cars. Jerry notices that the movement of military helicopters in the sky has suddenly increased. Suddenly, a cop speeds past him on a motorcycle and smashes Jerry's car mirror. Jerry steps out of the car, trying to stop him. But just then, a massive explosion erupts on the other side of the street. Through clouds of dust and smoke, people start abandoning their cars and running like maniacs. Jerry tries to turn his car around, but suddenly, a massive truck comes crashing through, crushing everything in its path. That huge truck keeps clearing the road, and Jerry takes advantage of the moment and starts driving right behind it. But after some distance, the truck crashes into a car on the road and flips over. In the chaos, Jerry's car also gets hit from the side by an ambulance. Jerry quickly gets his entire family out of the car, but the scene outside is terrifying. Panic is everywhere. Jerry notices that the people who were completely normal just minutes ago are now attacking each other like wild animals. A man is lying on the street, and another person is lunging at him like a vicious beast. Here, Jerry notices something very specific. He sees that the person who was bitten collapses onto the road, writhing in pain. His body starts shaking like he's being electrocuted, and his pupils suddenly turn completely white. Jerry realizes that this is a deadly virus that takes over the human nervous system in just 12 seconds. He uses a car on the road to push his way through the crowd. A zombie attacks their vehicle, but Karen kicks it down. Jerry keeps moving forward, running over zombies, and they manage to escape. Within minutes, the entire city is now filled with zombies. The army has arrived with helicopters, but controlling this terror is no longer possible. After leaving the city on the way, his daughter suddenly has an asthma attack. He tells his daughter that first, they'll stop at a pharmacy to get her medication. Just then, Jerry gets a call from his old friend Thierry, who is the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Thierry tells him that the situation is far worse than they imagined. Cities like Washington, London, and Moscow are also burning in the same chaos. Thierry tells Jerry that he will send an extraction team to rescue him, but for that, Jerry has to somehow stay safe until nightfall. A few hours later, Jerry reaches New Jersey. This city is also completely engulfed in flames, and panic is everywhere here too. There, Jerry stops at a pharmacy. While he's searching for medicine, a boy suddenly points a gun at him, but when he sees Jerry's daughter, he lowers the gun and even gives them the medicine. When Jerry is coming back, he sees that 2 attackers are going after his wife. He raises his rifle and tells them to stop, but instead of stopping, they start firing. To protect himself, Jerry fires back and kills one of them. Karen runs back to Jerry. Just then, a police officer arrives. Jerry thinks the officer is there for him, but in reality, that cop is also there to loot the store. That's when Jerry realizes that law and order has completely collapsed. He calls his friend again. Thierry gives him a location, an apartment block in New York. Jerry takes his family there. A Mexican family gives them shelter in their home. They have a young boy named Thomas. They're all terrified. Jerry explains to them that a helicopter will arrive in the morning. He tells them to come along with them, but Thomas's parents refuse to leave their home. The next morning, Jerry takes his family and runs toward the rooftop. As they're going up, zombies attack them. Jerry stabs one of the zombies with his knife, but it still doesn't die, and its blood gets into Jerry's mouth. Just then, Thomas shoots the zombie from behind. Jerry takes Thomas up to the roof and stands near the edge himself. Jerry fears that if the zombie's blood entered his mouth, he might turn into one too, and if that happens, he'll jump off the roof to keep his family safe. But Jerry doesn't turn into a zombie. Just then, the helicopter sent by his friend arrives to rescue them. Jerry holds back a zombie climbing onto the roof. Thomas's father has now turned into a zombie as well. Once everyone boards the helicopter, he runs and makes it in too. The zombies chase them and leap off the roof, trying to jump onto the helicopter. The helicopter takes off. Jerry looks down and sees that the entire city has turned into a graveyard. Smoke has blackened the sky, and the streets are no longer filled with people, but with an uncontrollable virus. The helicopter leaves behind the burning streets of Philadelphia and heads toward the open sea. Soon, they spot a massive Navy ship. This ship is currently the safest place in the world because the infected can't swim, and it's positioned miles away from any land. Thierry takes Jerry to a secure cabin. The place looks like a military headquarters. Thierry tells him that the situation is completely out of control now. The world's most powerful countries, whose armies were once considered unbeatable, have now fallen to their knees. He tells Jerry about a very young virologist, Dr. Fossbach, who is working alongside the world's best scientists and doctors to find a solution to this disaster. There, Jerry meets the military commander commander. The commander tells him that space and resources on this ship are extremely limited. Only those who can help fight this virus are allowed to stay. Jerry is given an ultimatum. Either he rejoins duty as an investigator and finds the source of the virus, or he and his family will be sent back to a refugee camp on land. To save his family, Jerry agrees to go on this suicide mission. Gary and Dr. Fasbach head to a military base camp in South Korea. The first radio transmission about this virus came from there. Fasbach believes that nature is very clever. It always hides its weakness behind its strength. If they can find patient 0, where it all started, they might be able to identify the virus's weakness and develop a vaccine. When Jerry and his team arrive in South Korea, the entire military base is eerily silent, with only the sound of rain echoing around them. As soon as they step off the plane, shadows start rushing toward them from the darkness. There's zombies. Chaos breaks out. Just then, some soldiers arrive and open fire, but Dr. Fasbach slips in panic, and as he falls, his own gun goes off, killing him on the spot. The one man who might have had the solution is now gone. The soldiers take Jerry inside the base. There, he meets a few surviving troops hiding inside a secure bunker. The commander explains how it all began. A local soldier started behaving strangely, and while he was being treated, he bit the doctor. By the time they managed to contain him, several others had already turned into zombies. Jerry also meets an agent there who is imprisoned for treason. The agent tells him that Israel had built a massive wall around the country weeks before the outbreak. The agent tells Jerry that if he wants the truth, he needs to go to Jerusalem. They didn't build that wall out of fear. They built it because they knew what was coming. Now Jerry has his next lead. In the darkness of night, Jerry tries to make his way back to the plane. He uses a bicycle to avoid making noise, but suddenly his phone rings. The sound wakes up hundreds of sleeping zombies at once. They start chasing him. Just then, the commander arrives in a truck and runs over the zombies to save him. As Jerry reaches the plane, a zombie knocks him down. The commander shoots the zombie, but while saving Jerry, he gets bitten. Through the plane window, Jerry watches as the commander shoots himself before turning into a zombie. Jerry and the pilot take off from there. They manage to escape and head toward Jerusalem. Jerry Lane's plane lands in Israel. From the sky, the city of Jerusalem looks like a miracle. Israel already seems fully prepared. Surrounding it is a massive concrete wall, miles long and hundreds of feet high. Outside the wall, there's an ocean of zombies in the millions, clawing at it like maniacs. Jerry is escorted into the city through a military convoy. During this, he meets Segan, who takes him to the Israeli intelligence office. There, Gary meets Jurgen. He asks him directly, "How did you know about this disaster in advance? And how did you build this wall overnight?" Jurgen explains Israel's 10th man rule. He says that throughout history, Israel has been deceived many times, so they created a rule. If 10 people are discussing an issue, and 9 of them completely agree on one conclusion, then it becomes the legal responsibility of the 10th person to disagree and think the opposite. If everyone says there's no danger, the 10th person must assume that the danger is very real and prepare for the worst. Jurgen was that 10th man. When the world was ignoring the zombie reports coming from India as a joke, Jurgen believed them, and Israel used all its strength to build this wall. Israel has completely sealed its borders, but they are still allowing healthy refugees from around the world to enter. Inside the city, the atmosphere is surprisingly hopeful. People from different religions and countries are celebrating together. They believe they've escaped death. They're singing, and prayers are being broadcast over loudspeakers. But Jerry senses something is very wrong. Zombies may not see well, but their hearing is extremely sharp. The noise inside the city is driving the massive crowd of zombies outside into a frenzy. Millions of zombies begin climbing over each other, stacking their bodies to form a massive human pyramid. Their numbers are so overwhelming that within minutes, they reach the top of the towering wall. Jerry tells everyone to be quiet, but it's too late. The zombies start pouring over the wall into the city. Jerusalem's safe streets turn into a slaughter zone in seconds. People begin running for their lives in every direction. The Israeli army fights back, but there are too many zombies. The bullets aren't enough. Seeing the situation spiral out of control, Segan and a group of soldiers try to get Jerry to the airport, but zombies attack from every side. As they barely make it forward, another massive wave of zombies attacks from the other direction. They manage to escape through a small gate, while a nearby helicopter provides cover fire. Here, Jerry notices something very strange. Amid all the chaos, some people are being completely ignored by the zombies. He sees a very weak, skinny boy standing right in their path, but the zombies pass him by without touching him. Segan is fighting bravely, but suddenly a zombie bites her on the wrist. Jerry knows the infection spreads through the body in just 12 seconds. Without hesitating, he grabs her arm and cuts off her hand with a blade. Segan screams in pain, but Jerry knows it's the only way to save her. He quickly bandages the wound and helps her move forward, but the helicopter sent to rescue them is also brought down by zombies. We see that Jerusalem is now completely overrun. Fighting and struggling to survive, Jerry and Segan finally reach the airport. The pilot of the plane Jerry arrived in has already fled, but there's another passenger plane about to take off. They stop it. Jerry boards the aircraft with the injured Segan. As the plane takes takes off from the runway. Jerry looks out the window. Jerusalem is now completely under zombie control, and he still doesn't have an answer to how this disaster can be stopped. Jerry gives Sagan a drink to ease her pain. While he's bandaging her, she tells him that she's no longer useful. Hearing this, Jerry starts thinking maybe the virus also needs a healthy host to spread. He keeps recalling that sick boy and the weak old man the zombies ignored. Does this virus have a weakness too? Jerry realizes that every predator looks for a healthy target. If the prey is already weak or sick, the predator ignores it. Now Jerry is convinced he needs to get to a lab and test this theory. He needs to test it. Jerry calls Thierry and asks about the few places in the world where research is still ongoing. Thierry tells him about a secret lab in Wales. Jerry informs the pilot and asks him to take them there. The pilot agrees. After a while, a strange noise comes from the rear cabin. When a flight attendant pulls back the curtain, she finds a zombie there. The zombie attacks her. Jerry senses something is wrong, and when he checks the back cabin, he sees that people have turned into zombies and are attacking passengers one by one. Jerry tells everyone in his section to stay calm and asks them to use their luggage to block the aisle. He uses all his strength to stack suitcases and bags, trying to build a barrier to stop the zombies. But against their strength and numbers, the barrier collapses and chaos erupts there as well. When a vicious zombie lunges at Jerry, Sagan shoots it. Jerry realizes that controlling the situation is no longer possible. He pulls the pin from a grenade and throws it toward the plane's wall. A massive explosion rips through the aircraft. Due to the sudden pressure change, air inside the plane gets sucked out, and along with it, the zombies are pulled out through the opening. The plane's engine fails, and it starts crashing rapidly toward the ground. It crashes into a mountainous area. In the wreckage, we see Jerry still strapped to his seat, with a sharp piece of the plane lodged in his abdomen. He unbuckles himself and falls to the ground. Moments later, Sagan arrives behind him, and Jerry feels relieved seeing her alive. The two of them head toward the lab. After walking miles on foot, they reach the lab's gate. But after arriving, Jerry loses consciousness due to heavy blood loss. When he wakes up, he sees two people standing over him. They're scientists. They ask him why he's there. Jerry presents his entire theory to the lead scientists. He explains that to fight the virus, they don't need a cure. They need a camouflage. He tells them that zombies don't attack people who are already suffering from serious or terminal illnesses. They only go after healthy humans. Jerry suggests that if they infect themselves with a curable disease, they can become invisible to these creatures. Since no other solution exists, the scientists agree to test his theory, but they explain that all the samples of dangerous diseases are stored in another section of the lab, Building B, which is now completely overrun by zombies. Some lab staff have already turned and are roaming there. Jerry decides to go himself. Along with Sagan and a scientist, he quietly enters the area. As they move forward, the scientist accidentally knocks a box with a pipe, activating a zombie. Just as it's about to attack Jerry, Sagan shoots it. The gunshot attracts other zombies, and they start chasing them. They run. Ahead, Jerry tells Sagan and the scientist to go back, while he continues alone toward the sample lab. The zombies follow him. Meanwhile, Sagan and the scientist fight their way back and manage to reach the safe area, sealing the door behind them. Jerry carefully reaches the chamber where the virus samples are stored. He fills a box with random samples, but as he tries to leave, a zombie stands blocking the door. Jerry has no weapon left. To test his theory, he injects one of the samples into his arm. He sits there for a moment, waiting for the illness to take effect. Then Jerry opens the lab door. His theory proves correct. The zombie ignores him completely, as if he doesn't exist. Jerry locks the zombie inside the lab and walks out. Now he has full confidence in his theory. Hundreds of zombies stand in his path, but none of them even touch him. He walks through them without fear and returns to the scientists. They immediately begin treating him. Now Jerry leaves to reunite with his family. Across the world, the remaining survivors are given these disease injections. Instead of running, humanity begins to fight back. The military starts systematically eliminating the zombies. We see zombies being burned from the tops of buildings. In some places, they're gathered into massive stadiums and bombed. Giant piles of zombie bodies are set on fire. At the end of the film, Jerry returns to the place where his family has been waiting for him. He embraces his wife and daughter, and with that, the story of the film comes to an end.